I want to introduce you this morning to one of the hundreds of people from Churchill Falls who had to evacuate last night. You may have seen him on our network already because he's given a couple of conversations sort of documenting what's been happening in Churchill Falls as he watched the fire approach and then had to prepare to evacuate last night. Well, Robert Dawe is back with us this morning because we want to pick up his story from where we left off, which was when he was about to head out to evacuate. Robert, welcome to our program. Really delighted to meet you, and good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, I was going to ask you how you are this morning, but I look at the scene behind you and I see unbelievably blessed. And I'm wondering if that has to do with how you might feel getting out of danger last night.
Actually, I feel exhausted. I've only had a couple hours sleep. It was a long night for sure, but I am happy to be here safe along with all the other, I believe it was 400 and odd residents that left last night and got safely
So
here.
Where have I found you this morning? Where did you evacuate to?
We're in Happy Valley, but 300 kilometers from Churchill Falls to the east,
Okay.
at my girlfriend's house, and my family's here as well, my daughter and her dog and her friend and my mom, so it's a bunch of us here.
All in the house, all bunking up together now for the next little while.
Well, some of them are in the camper out by the door.
Okay.
So,
but the dog's in with you. That's going to be good. Listen, I want to talk a little bit about that drive last night because, as you said, it was several hours for sure. So you left home in Churchill Falls, and then tell me about the drive and how it went.
Yeah, the drive was long and steady. When we got the evacuation notice, we were a little bit surprised. We probably knew it was coming, but it happened really quickly. So we gathered up, loaded up the vehicles, got in the lineup, and started to leave. And we got in the lineup, and the police stopped us for a little while. They took our information before we left Churchill Falls. And then when we got here, they also took our information to make sure we made it. Then we had to report to the YMCA and let people know if we had accommodations or not. It was all very professionally done.
We heard there was going to be that system of checkpoints when leaving and when arriving. So you went through that already, and it seems to have gone smoothly in your case. Yeah,
very much so. It seemed like it was well thought out. We were well received here in Happy Valley.
Okay. Back to the drive, because you sent us some pictures, and we can go back to those. Can see in the pictures that you took from the car, the smoke is just in the offing, so you see that. Were you ever close to that, at risk, Robert? Could you smell it? What were the kinds of conditions you were driving through?
Yeah, for sure. When we were getting ready to leave town, the smoke and haze was getting pretty thick, and the plume of smoke was really black, and it went up and actually blocked the sun and made it feel like nighttime. And it was only late evening, so it should have been still quite bright out. So that made me feel a bit nervous. We got through it, and everyone took their time. Steady file. Everyone came down, no issues.
No issues. That's good, because I was wondering if there were any concerns about gasoline or anything along the way, if you were moving along slowly and encounter any problems at all, except for the fact that maybe took longer than normal?
No, we see some long lines at the fuel station before we left. Some people wanted to get topped up, I guess, for the long drive down. And I also brought extra fuel with me in the back of my rig in case anyone needed it. But no one did that I know of, and everyone made it here fine.
That's good. You did encounter some pretty bad weather conditions, too. You sent us some pictures, and we have some images as well that we have from other cameras. It sounds like it was a dandy of a thunderstorm. Well, look at that. Now, we do have the video. You're driving through that, Robert?
Yeah, for sure. That was a little bit from my dash cam. I pulled there this morning, and it was just one spot where the sky lit up in front of us and made a lot of people feel a bit on edge. I mean, we're already in a tense spot and driving down, and then to go through this was high winds, a lot of lightning. There was heavy rain at times.
But again, thankfully, you reached Happy Valley-Goose Bay safely through that checkpoint and now at your girlfriend's house. I'm wondering, when you arrived in the community, did you notice anything? Because we've been hearing a lot about the offers of assistance and support in any way possible on social media, things like even offering toothbrushes to anybody who needs, or accommodation if anybody needs, really anything, which is so typical of the Newfoundland and Labrador spirit. Did you notice anything when you got there that stood out for you in terms of the kinds of support they're offering?
Yeah, for sure. It was overwhelming on social media what everyone was doing and offering their campers, their cabins, everything. Even guy offered his boat with could sleep a couple people if he needed to. Anything anyone needed, rooms. Everyone was really overwhelming and accommodating.
How does that make you feel?
Made me feel good and warm and well received, for sure.
I bet it did, given the circumstances, for sure. So what's the plan for today, Robert?
Actually, I'm just going to do a little bit of work. I grabbed my laptop when I left town and my cell phone. I'm logged in remotely and just finishing up a little bit of work and check in with all my coworkers and friends and see how everyone's making out today, see if anyone needs anything.
Do you work at the power plant?
Yeah, I'm a planner for hydro.
Mm-hmm. And are you hearing anything about how things are going? We've been reporting on that small group that's been, obviously had to stay behind to make sure things are still okay there at the power generating station. Any updates you might have?
Yeah, I checked some live camera feeds there this morning, and it's overcast. It looks like there's no smoke in town. There was a rainstorm last night, of course, that we drove through, and that went over town as well as here in Goose Bay. And it dropped a bit of rain, and I was told that it's under control as of today, so that's really good news.
That really is good news. You moved to Churchill Falls, I know, in 1974, so that's 50 years ago. Am I right in that number?
Yeah, it makes it sound like a long time.
It does, doesn't it, when it comes out that way? But I just want, is this a first for you, an evacuation like this?
Yeah, for sure. What was coming to mind was, I think it was 2016 maybe in Fort Mac, when everyone was evacuating, and see the same thing, line up to the gas stations, people driving through, the smoke. And that's what reminded me of. It just felt surreal, like it was in a movie set or something.
That's what I thought you must be experiencing. Well, listen, I'm glad you've made it there safely. Get a little rest if you can. I can't believe you're going to log on and do some work today, given everything you've gone through. That's a devoted employee. Thank you, Robert, for the time. And thank whoever it is trying to keep the dog under control. I appreciate that, too.
Yeah, that's my mom. She's trying to keep the dog quiet.
Oh,
so
Mom,
give
thanks
me a treat,
a lot.
but it didn't last.
All right,
Thanks
appreciate the time for all of
it.
you. Really nice to connect. Thanks, Robert. Be well.
Okay.
Robert Dawe from Happy Valley-Goose Bay this morning.